Rule number one, only take financial advice specifically. If I could turn 21 again and know this number one financial literacy hack, it would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of relationships. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Rule number one, only take financial advice specifically from whoever has done that specific thing. This seems so common sense, but I swear to you, it is not. People on the internet are not following the information from someone who's actually done something. They're only listening to reiterated information, which is so easy. Anybody can sit on YouTube all day and watch videos. They can find random people on the internet to learn from, read articles online, Google, ChatGPT, all the things, and put together some sort of agenda that they want you to understand, listen to, and to fall into, right? Anybody can do that. What I'm strongly advising I would have done when I was 21 years old is really understand that everything financial is completely different from another financial goal. So just because you and I are both trying to consolidate debt does not mean that my strategy is going to work for you while you're in your life. It's not going to work for me. A lot of the financial strategies and tools are not interchangeable. I've heard a lot on the internet, and this is what I was doing before. If it worked in one part of my life, it must work in another part. That is not entirely true because all things are not made equal. So if I were to give myself one particular thing to do is when I'm going to go ask somebody for financial advice, first, I need to think about, why am I even asking this person this question? I'm asking this person this question because it is something that I want to go and do. That is perfectly fine. Awesome. I need to take this idea and consolidate it into one singular sentence or one singular point that can easily be asked to another person, point blank, period. And I need to ask that person straight on and actually listen to hear if they've actually done what I'm asking. For instance, with the debt consolidation. If I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this debt is so much, I want to consolidate my debt. I need to this and this, my credit card, right? Cool. If I go to Bob and Bob is like, well, debt's not bad. You actually need debt. It makes you money, right? Rich people use debt, right? That is the mindset you would have going into now using your strategy to become debt free. You probably would try to take on more debt with that information. But what he's really saying, what Bob is really trying to get at, is that debt is something that can be used to leverage to make more money. For instance, if you go and you take out a business loan to help improve your business and you start to make more revenue, you pay back the loan and you still get to keep the systems that were put in place based on the amount of money that you got from that loan, whatever helped you out in that leverage department. Great. That is not what you're talking about. You're talking about a whole bunch of consumer debt that you went to Papa John's too many times last week, and now you have a $45 interest payment on top of a payment you couldn't even cover. Those are two completely different lifestyle choices. And if you really think about it, everybody's financial strategies are based on the life they're living, and nobody's living the same life as someone else. So before you make financial decisions, even when you're watching my channel, someone else's channel, whatever, listen to the strategies they're giving. And before you go and do them, figure out, is that person in the same financial situation as me? Do they make the same amount as me? Or do they make a general, of the same to debt ratio? What does their debt look like? They have a lot of student loans, car loans, or are they just using debt to get rental properties? Those are two completely different lifestyles. And you cannot use someone's debt strategy, right? Or any type of financial strategy or tool to get to where you want to get based on something that you don't currently have. Okay. When I look at someone's life and I'm like, oh, they don't have this and that, but they have XYZ, I have to be cautious if I take their advice on that financial strategy information, because I don't know what that is going to look like for me specifically after I have followed that particular advice. The other point I wanted to make that I would give myself if I was 21 years old again is, has the person actually done it? It's easy, like I said, to read Google, ChatGPT, all the AI things. You talk to your friend, you talk to Billy Bob, you saw an Instagram post, you saw a Twitter, you saw an X post, and now you feel like you're a master at that thing. Excuse me, that's not the same thing. When I come on the internet and I say, oh, I've mastered personal finance, that is because you can literally sit any problem in front of my face and I can give you I can give you a personal finance plan to fix whatever problem that you put in front of me, like that. Why? because I've literally done it for myself. So I am able to look through problems literally with x-ray vision and be able to see what the problem is, apply a solution, and literally give you a plan for that. I do it for myself all the time, for all the different financial goals that I have. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I would be crazy to think that I can just, I'm going to Google all these things and all these things sound great and I'm going to go make YouTube videos on them. Doesn't make sense. So you have to go and find people. And I'm not even saying that I'm the most reliable person. You might say like, there's this YouTube channel and she just on here lying. I just don't believe nothing she's saying. Cool. I'm not even mad at you. Move on to somebody else's YouTube channel. Fine. But for the people who want the information that I'm specifically giving on anything financial, you genuinely need to be able to understand that if someone has not done themselves what you're trying to do, do not take their advice. Point blank, full stop. So like the other example, if you're trying to consolidate debt, you might talk to Billy Bob and Billy Bob might give you some strategies on what he's currently using. But when you talk to Billy Bob, he's probably older than you. He probably has more years on his credit than you. He probably has more knowledge and experience than you, but he may not have the exact knowledge of what you need in your situation. He is no longer a candidate for advice. He cannot help you, because nothing is made equal and you're going to make a lot of mistakes by simply trying to apply Billy Bob's information to you and then take Sally Joe and take her information and apply to you. It's literally going to make you lose so much money, so much time, so much sleep, it's going to cause you so much agony and frustration, because you're going to wonder, why is Billy Bob and Sally Joe moving forward in life so fast and I'm taking their advice and I'm moving slow? It's because, one, people aren't going to tell you everything because they don't remember everything they did to get where they are. 2, people are literally speaking from their own personal experience. If they're not you, unfortunately, their advice is never going to exactly help you. And 3, they may not even be a person that did what they're telling you to do. They're just a reiterator. I see that all the time. Because people are interested in making more money. People are interested in figuring out their personal finances. People are interested in all these different financial whatevers. Right? So all you need to do is really just show up and be like, hey, I have this credit. And you're going to call this person. They're going to fix your credit. All you got to do is pay them $100. They're going to fix your credit. And then they're going, and then that a lot of people get caught in financial issues is because they don't understand their actual problem. And they're just going to the first person that can literally tell them information, when literally anybody can tell you information. Anybody can go online and read an article. Anybody can Google something and make a YouTube video on it. Anybody can. Literally. And so that's something I wish I knew. Okay, if I have a problem with income, I can't go ask the person who's an expert in debt. That's a totally different realm, right? And even if I do go ask somebody who specializes in more income, are they specializing in active streams of income? Are they passionate about passive income streams? Do they do a mix of both? Do they only teach a mix of both? Do they only know how to do it with assets, or do they know how to turn your liabilities into assets? Do they know how to turn your credits into debits, or do they specialize in increasing your income by reducing your expenses? There's so many different strategies for finances, and by listening to certain people, you're going to set yourself back so far. And I've done that so much. Even though I'm only 24, I feel I've taken macro and microeconomics courses and things like that, like college courses, but that has nothing to do that pales in comparison to actually having financial problems. That's why I honestly enjoy life, because it's every day it's a challenge towards bringing yourself into a better financial realm and a better financial future. And that is really exciting and fun. It's something to look forward to. It's something that you're constantly, you get to look back and say, wow, 6 months ago, I didn't know XYZ, but now I do. And yeah, it worked out for me a little bit, but now it doesn't really work. And get to you experiment with so many things. But the problem is when I was just listening to every single person that was older than me and thinking that, because they said XYZ, that they're going to be able to fix all my problems. No. So when I have a specific problem with something, I need to be asking a specific person. And if there is no person that I can find that has my exact issue and solved it in an XYZ way, then I need to be figuring out it myself. Period. Because It's so easy to get caught up in all types of things on the internet and get caught up in all types of things with people, and people telling you, oh, well, I did this tax strategy and I consolidated my debt doing alone. And like, it's easy. But until you've actually done it yourself, it doesn't matter. And like, I'm like, experience is going to be so much more significant in the realm of finances. And that's why I'm not afraid to get on YouTube and the internet and TikTok and etc., or even my friends, family, etc., and talk about finances. Why? Because my experience, like, honestly say, your education in finance pales in comparison to any person's life experience finances. It literally does. It's the same reason, like, you go to college, you spend 4 or 5 years, etc., in school, and as soon as you get out and get a job, you still feel like you don't know what you're doing. Why? Because experience is going to be significant over that education every single day of the week, period, point blank. So you need to have a person who actually has experience, because when you talk to a person that has experience in whatever your financial struggle is, they have an intimate relationship. They put their time, money, their credit on the line. They put their reputation, they put their home, their house, their equity, their assets, their liabilities. They put many things on the line to be able to try to figure something out for themselves. And that experience that they have in that is going to be so much more significant in the long run compared to someone who can just reiterate information. Reiterating information is completely pointless. So if you're watching videos of people that have listicles are like bullet points of different things, like literally words, sentences, phrases, etc. Just a list of things that they are just like give you this great information. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but what I'm saying is, for me, what has helped the most is actually listening to people that have particular experience, not people that just have knowledge. Knowledge that is going to take you nowhere. And knowledge is not power. Execution is power, period. If you cannot execute something that you can talk about, you don't have as much skill as you think you do. And that's why I only listen to people who have actually done done exactly what they're talking about. There's a lot of people who can just talk that they think they know. If you've never done it, I don't want to hear a peep at all, because I see it all the time. Like, I don't use social media, but I talk to humans. Yeah. And sometimes we'll hear things like, oh, this post and this is going to solve the financial problems, or this is the problem in America, or like just generalize in speech. And I always think to myself, you haven't done any of that. You have zero personal experience in anything that you're talking about. So because I have the experience in trying all these financial strategies and tools, so I can see right through someone who's just speaking from the internet. So if I see somebody and they're like, oh, this is the next big thing, and blah, 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 I literally see right through it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, anyways, to the next. Not to say you're dumb or you're smart, or that I even have the ability to decipher whether somebody is viable or not, right? I can't do that for 100% of people. But what I can say is that if you haven't done something that you're speaking about, what you have to say means zero. Same thing as me going and reading a textbook on psychology and thinking that I understand psychology from top to bottom when I've never taken a psychology client, or I've never been a therapist, or I've never been a mental health provider, or etc. And I've never had any of that experience. Please have an experience in any of that. It's so easy to talk because talk is very cheap. Talk is extremely cheap. But when you're putting yourself, your credit, your accounts, like your social security number, your identity, credit, like your credit reports, you're putting you're putting your everything on the line to learn something or to do something, that is when you actually have some talk in the game. Period. That's the only time you have talk in the game. So if I was 21 years old again, I would be very weary of listening to any advice from someone who can't specifically tell me any experience that they've had with the thing that I'm asking them, period. I would not take any advice, anyone that's talking about anything that they haven't done. I would go try it for myself, or first go find somebody that's already done that thing and go learn from their experience, because talk is extremely cheap and it's so easy to say, oh, just go invest. Oh, just go do this. oh, just go get a third job, or just go work the night shift, or just go do this, or just go start an Amazon storefront, or just start selling ebooks, or just go digital product. Like, it's so easy to say those things. It's almost easier than sleeping. Like, that is literally probably easier than sleeping. Just babbling off stuff that you've heard. If you've never done it, don't speak on it. And if you have never done it, you need to first say, hey guys, I want to talk about this thing that I saw. I've never done it, but it sounds like a good idea. Let's have a discussion. That's how it needs to move forward. But if I was 21 years old again, freshly learning about finances, I would never, ever, ever take from someone who has not done what they talk about, period.